super excited about this segment, super excited about this guest. We are spieling it in the kitchen today with Café BLOOM's owner, Kristen Drew, near and dear to my heart. This segment is brought to our viewers by Prairie Farms. Look at you, you think of everything.
We love Prairie Farms. We use it all the time.
Yes, we do. We do. Listen, your place is stunning. If you're anybody, you know about it. I've yet to go. I brought her here. My son has even gone. And listen, I love how you say the weather is always perfect for a picnic inside Café BLOOM.
It is always picnic weather.
Yes. Beautiful. And this array and everything you have going on, we're super excited. So your place is such that you can go in and enjoy coffee. You can go in and learn about tea and enjoy tea, high tea. You've got these fabulous. Do you make these every day yourself?
We do. Yeah. This is our high tea.
Okay.
This does require a reservation.
Okay.
But we do this every single day between our hours that we're open, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Okay. Your place is one of those, when you drive by, it's like, oh, wow. I mean, it's so beautiful. You've thought of every detail. You've even had, you've brought in ice sculptures, and you've got a flower cart, and you have, a waterfall. What is the experience? What were you trying to create?
Well, I have this theory that in order to have a really great time, you have to have three things. You have to have really good food. You have to have really good music, and then you also have to have the sound of flowing water. I agree. It just creates this ambiance. So we had to put this fountain in the back corner of Bloom to kind of create that noise. Okay. And I think it's working, because when people come, they don't get up. They sit at their table for hours, and they apologize and say, "I'm so sorry we were here for hours." And I say, "Nope, that's exactly what I wanted to create."
Absolutely, especially when you're spending money. You can stay as long as you teasing. Okay, so you had a number of things that you were going to do for us today, so I'm going to let you just sort of take us on the journey, and I'll ask questions as we go.
Sure. One of our most popular things we have on the menu is the pimento BLT. So our goal is to be polished but not pretentious. So we are a brunch and lunch restaurant, so we have a lot of sandwiches. And so we've taken this BLT classic and we've just added a little twist to it. So we're going to start with our mayonnaise, if that's okay. Okay, so you're making homemade pimento cheese, boo. We do all of our sauces homemade. So next we have Monterey Jack cheese. Okay. And next we have the sharp cheddar. And it's not pimento cheese without pimentos.
Okay.
A little bit of onion.
You know, my grandmother made this, and I don't know that she made it homemade, but she would always put it in celery at Christmas time, and I would go by the tray and just like lick the pimento cheese out, and then I probably didn't leave the celery, but I might have. I don't know. I would like to apologize if you ever came across that as a family member. So.
We change our high teas every single day based on what we're inspired to do, based on what's fresh. So I think that we will have to come up with this pimento cheese celery.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
In the next couple days.
Okay.
So then some garlic powder. And of course, salt and pepper. And 2 heaping tablespoons of Prairie Farm sour cream.
That's it. Excellent.
All right. We would stir this up. I'll give you something to do.
Okay, thank you. Always looking for something to do.
And I will start our bread toasting.
Okay.
So I believe that buttered bread is so simple and so delicious, but so easy to mess up.
Well, I'll tell you, my grandmother, it was like one of those, when you make a grilled cheese, it's like, it's okay. But when somebody makes a grilled cheese for you, it's like, this is the best thing since sliced bread.
I always tell my kitchen staff, you cannot rush a grilled cheese. There's only one way to do it, low and slow, and to do it right. So I always tell them, start the grilled cheese first.
Okay.
I don't care what else anybody else orders. That looks great. Thank you so much.
There's some lumps in there, but I think we're okay. We can just eat past those, right?
That'll be fine. Okay. So we go ahead and put that pimento cheese on the bread now, so it gets all ooey and gooey.
Now, at Café BLOOM, you're also making an effort to support local, aren't you? Local businesses, and that's what it's about when you're surviving as a community.
It really is. The name Bloom came from the concept, you should bloom where you're planted. So we love to partner with local farmers. And so our kale, our potatoes, everything we can do as much local as possible. We go to the farmer's market every Thursday, and usually we can find, whatever's fresh, whatever's seasonal, and that's really what we put on our high tea menu. So we've got the mayonnaise, we've got the pimento cheese, and now it is time for the bacon.
Oh, honey, bacon makes everything better.
Guess how many pounds of bacon we go through a day?
A lot.
Over 30.
Oh my.
We're gonna put some tomatoes on there. And then our lettuce, and we're good to go.
Okay.
But we've already got one ready for you over here.
Okay, so we get to sample.
Yep.
All right.
So we serve it open faced like that.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Okay.
We let you get messy.
Okay. That's just blooming fancy good, girl.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So that's one of your top sellers. What else?
Well, tea.
Tea.
So many places sell coffee. We wanted to just bring a unique flavor to the community, and we didn't want to step on anybody else's toes. You know, it's hard enough to make a living without somebody coming into town and doing something you're already doing.
Right.
While we do sell coffee, we specialize in tea. So we search all over for the most unique and tasty teas. And one of our most popular is the butterfly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not using real butterflies in there, are you?
No. So the butterfly refers to a flower that we steep. It has a lot of health benefits and it produces this blue liquid.
Okay.
But by itself, it doesn't taste great. And that's the problem with tea, right? Is that it's kind of like coffee. It needs the cream, it needs the sugar, it needs the froth.
Sometimes.
So what we do is we add a blend of citrus juices. So this has lemon, this has passion fruit, and it changes colors.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it goes,
this is going to be cool.
It goes from blue to purple.
Get out of town,
Yeah.
girl.
And
You're
now
magic.
And now it tastes great.
Okay.
So this is one of our house specialties. And
Can we
I
try?
find that there is nothing better to have a long conversation with a good friend than over a cup of hot tea.
Now, do you have to do all this business, this jazz?
We love Pinkies Up.
Okay.
We actually call our tea our Pinkies Up menu. This is our Wild Encounter.
A wild encounter. Okay.
Yes.
I like those.
So this is a blend of hibiscus and strawberries and really fruity.
Tea is designed to make you feel good, right? Can I try that too?
You know, I think so.
They always say if you're not feeling well, they're like, have some tea here.
It really does comfort you. It soothes you. It puts things in perspective. You like that one too? Good.
All right, so what's all this stuff? Scones, I recognize
Sure.
that.
So that's kind of like our cheesecake mousse. So today, the girls helped me make a little strawberry cheesecake mousse.
So good.
And then these are our macaroons. So we've got the pistachio, the caramel.
That's delicious.
Thank you very much. So if you don't get it just right, people want a perfect macaroon. And so they're really expensive and they're really hard to make.
That's delicious.
In the middle tier here, we've got our scones, and that is our lemon curd and our clotted cream. Now, we are not trying to be authentically British. You know, high tea is known in the UK. So we make our own lemon curd and clotted cream, which is very sweet. So clotted cream in the UK would be a lot more like sour cream, but we sweeten it. So we smear that on a scone, which, if you know about scones,
That's so
the
good.
Angie dance. They can be a little dry and tough. They are, after all, just a biscuit. So we try our best to not make them dry and tough, but we also do provide that clotted cream just in case you want to have the more traditional experience.
If you sit this down in front of anyone, their face it just lights up.
It's a different way of eating. You know, when I tell people that it's kind of like your appetizer, your main entree, and your dessert, and your drink all into one, they get it. But it's a different style of eating that Americans aren't really used to.
Right.
On the bottom level here, this is what I call our savory tier. And so every day, like I said, this switches up. So
I love the cucumbers.
yeah, everyone thinks that they need to have a cucumber sandwich when they're having tea. So that is a very traditional recipe.
You know what, girl? Can we have one of these delivered like daily? That would be great. That would be wonderful.
You know, during COVID, we did a lot of high teas to go. And at first, I was disappointed in that because I love the idea of people sitting across the table and socializing. But I understood, you know, so we do what our customers want. And if you want a high tea to go, we'll make it happen.
Well, when we get back, can we just sit down with some of this delicious tea and dish?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, we'll be right back. Now, I had to do some extra dishing with this gal because we have a past. We worked together at a news station for a while, and this is such a different world. But, you know, so many times, perception, in particular social media, we hear it all the time. Life just looks so fascinating and so much fun for you, and they don't realize that it takes a lot of work to get there.
For sure.
Right?
Right.
Now, you describe yourself as a Proverbs 31 woman. Talk to me about that. And what does that mean for our viewers?
Yeah, so that means that I'm a hard worker, and I get up every day, and, you know, I might be feeling, not feeling it that day.
Right.
But I tell myself, you know, I have the strength, and I'm strong, and I'm going to be the woman that my family needs me to be, and I'm going to be the woman that my community needs me to be.
That's wonderful.
I don't always succeed, but that is my goal, and that is what inspires me.
Yeah, I think what people fail to realize sometimes is it may not happen when you want it to happen, but God places opportunity in our paths all of the time. And if you choose to pick that up and do something with it, that's on you. If you want to sit it aside and go for another day, it might be a missed opportunity.
Right. You know, sometimes it's hard to know if opportunities are God or not, right?
Right.
But I think that if you're praying and, you know, you take it one baby step at a time, it'll reveal itself in time.
No doubt.
You know, when I look back on the whole Café BLOOM experience, it's so hard to believe that this is actually happening, right? So it was just one little baby step at a time. I didn't wake up one day and want to have a restaurant.
Right.
Right? It was an opportunity. It was a building that wasn't being used.
Right.
And so I decided, hey, let's try this. What's the worst that could happen, right?
That was a big move for you. And I remember seeing, that's the beauty of Facebook and being on social media, in particular when people will get real and show you, you know, this building is falling in, or we need to do this, or put on a hard hat, and you were trying to do some things downtown. But it takes a special person to want to tackle an entire community. And how many times do we say, when you ride up onto a city square, you're like, oh man, I really wish someone would bring this back or keep this, you know, the way that it is. When did you decide to tackle a town square? I mean, you were busy.
It was never a conscious thought.
Okay.
It was just taking one step of faith, another step of faith, another step of faith. This
Knocking
happened.
down this wall.
Yeah. And, you know, it was actually 1 year ago in September that my husband were standing in the middle of what's now Café BLOOM. And I said, let's do the math. Maybe it would be better to push it in and rent parking spots to people. Because parking around the Benton Square is challenging.
It's limited, right.
And so we did the math, and it was close. And I said, you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's do this. Lord, give us the ability to do this without seeing how it's going to end up, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, and your husband, an attorney, you were actually looking at that particular site for him, for a law office, and I believe, I mean, not to get him in trouble again, but he might have walked up on it and said, you know, I'm not feeling it. And you kept your cool, or?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, she did not keep her cool.
No.
Okay.
Those were his exact words. I'm not feeling it. We had it on a 90-day close.
Oh,
Angie.
gosh.
90 days. He could have, you know, backed out of the buying of that building. We got the keys after the closing, went to the property, and he said, I'm just not feeling it.
Not feeling it.
And I said, well, you know, we don't have enough money to just not feel it and have a non-income producing property, right? So he said, let's cut it up into 3 spots and rent it out. And if you look at Café BLOOM today, that's why there's 3 doors. And I said, that may happen. We may need to cut it up and rent it out into 3 spots, you know, and that will pay the mortgage. But let me try this crazy idea I have. And he says, Kristen, this is crazy. And I was like, let's just try, right? That's all we can do.
And you've done a great job, and people are responding. And after this show, they're just going to flock there. And Prairie Farms thanks you for using their product. And
You do.
I mean, now people know, you know.
Well, thank you so much for
What's
supporting
next?
us.
Yeah, what's next?
What's next is the south side of the square.
Okay.
So we feel that we should bloom where we're planted, like I said. And, you know, we're going to beautify this square, or we're going to die trying. And somebody else is going to pick up where we left off.
Okay.
Because it's our town. This is our community. These are
Your
the
children.
people that we
You
love.
have you have like a, is it a basketball team, or how many do you have now?
We have 4.
Okay.
We have 4 beautiful children, and they help in the business. They roll silverware. They sanitize dishes. You know, everyone who works for me knows that you've got to help me raise my kids too.
Okay.
It's part of the deal working for me. So everybody's getting onto Harrison all the time. You know what I mean?
Bless his heart. But you guys, I mean, you make it look easy. You make it look beautiful in the process, but we know it's a lot of hard work, and we do appreciate that. So, and thanks for coming to be our guest. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to close out the show with a dynamic duo. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right.